Welcome to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. This is Dr. Deb Butler, Master Life and Weight Coach, and as always, your coach. Today is episode 115, and today I want to talk to you a little bit more about exercise, a little bit more about play, and I want to talk to you about lowering your expectations as opposed to raising your expectations. I call it the minimums. Stay tuned. Hi, everybody. How are you today? It's a beautiful hot day in St. Louis, Missouri, and I have to tell you, I'm in a room that I don't usually do my broadcasting in, but people are working on their lawns all over my neighborhood, and there's sounds everywhere. So I'm in a very special room right now where I can't really see anything. So I can only imagine that a bunch of you are listening to me and smiling. I'm seeing your smiling faces and receptive faces because that's really all there is to see right now. But anyway, I do have a very interesting topic, and I know I talked to you about it very early on in one of my early podcasts, but I want to talk to you again because it's still a problem and it's still prevalent, and that is exercise. Now, I don't know why you think you need to exercise, but most of the people that I talk to think they have to exercise in order to lose weight. And what I want to say to you about that is you don't. And I'm sure there's people that want to come back and write me letters and tell me why that's not true. But really, if all you did was watch and eat between your twos and eat the right foods, you would lose weight. But there is a much, much bigger reason why you need to move your body that has nothing to do with losing weight. And that's what I want to talk to you about today and why it's so important. Because really, exercise is a term for many, many people that makes them feel dread and burdened, right? Because they have thoughts about how hard it is and they don't have time and they're not athletic and all the thoughts. And yet, really, when you look at children are exercising every day, but they don't use that word. What they use is they use the word that's called play. And seriously, it's the exact same thing. And as a parent or as a grandparent, for me, we always know when our children need to go out and play, right? Because either they have a lot of pent up energy or they start getting crabby. And just like we know when they're getting crabby when it's time to eat, we also know sometimes when they're getting crabby or they're getting hard to handle that they need to go out and move. They need to get that energy going, right? That really is what exercise is. It's play. It's moving your body and playfully moving your body, enjoying moving your body. And most of you as children did that because it's something that just comes natural. It's not like somebody taught you that you have to exercise. I mean, can you imagine a 6-year-old coming up to one of us as parents and saying, "Mommy, is it time for me to exercise yet?" Or can you imagine as a parent going to your child, a 6-year-old, and saying, "Have you exercised yet today?" And yet that's how we treat ourselves all the time. But in reality, the reason that you want to move your body is because you feel better after. And that is the truth. You always don't want to go, right? Because you have a very, very funny brain that starts telling you how comfortable you are right now, or how busy you are right now, or how tired you are right now, right? And so you never can really go by that tricky little brain that wants you to just take a nap, right? You have to have a bigger purpose for going. And for me, one of the reasons that I always get up and go is because I know how I'm going to feel when I'm done. And that's what I go for ahead of time. I go for the feeling I want when I'm done. I do not go by the feeling I feel when I start, because most of the time that feeling is not motivation. Until I think to myself, I will feel so much better when I'm done. And usually that's what gets me out the door, is I just want to feel better, usually because I need to. And that's how kids are. That's why they go out and play, because they always feel better after they're through playing. Parents always feel better after their kids have been playing. Grandparents always feel better after their grandkids have been playing because it's a release of energy. We all need that. We live in a very, very stressful life. We all have such crazy thinking about our lives that we create so much stress. And we're all wanting to be very, very busy all the time. And of course, that creates stress. What do you do with your stress? There's two things you can do, seriously. One, you can eat donuts and bonbons and lay around and watch TV. Or you can go out and you can move your body and feel better when you're done. Those are the two things that you have to choose from most times, is eating or moving. Because either way, the stress is reduced a little bit. Now, stay with me for a little bit. When you're feeling really, really uncomfortable and you eat something sweet, for the moment, it is so pleasurable that you forget your discomfort. The only problem is the result of eating when you're stressed is you gain weight and you feel worse about yourself. So it doesn't work. When you're stressed and you go out and move your body, the result of that always is you feel better and you feel better about yourself. So which one do you think would be a better choice for you? Both will relieve your stress. Now, you got to train your brain to do this because guess what? For many of you who have been eating your emotions for years, many of you who I talk to in mini sessions, the first thing you say to me, well, I've had a stressful year, or I've had a stressful 10 years, or I've had whatever, or something terrible happened, as if that's the reason why I gained weight. But it is not. The reason that you gained weight is because you decided, your brain started telling you, this is what we do when we're stressed. We eat. I want you to train your brain to believe that when we're stressed, we go out and we move. And the more your brain does that for you, it will become automatic. And when you feel stressed, your brain will push you outside. You won't even have to think about it. Because that's exactly what kids do. That's exactly what anybody does who enjoys exercise, or we can call it play. They have their brain working for them. Now, I want to tell you how to get your brain working for you. And it's very, very simple. And it's a tool that I use, and it's in my companion workbook that I have that goes with this podcast. And you can get it by going to drdebbutler.com/change. And what I call it is I call it the minimums. And basically the way the minimums work is that when you're starting to move your body, number one, you try to choose something that you like a little bit. Whatever it is, it could be walking, it could be dancing, it could be throwing a frisbee, it could be walking your dog, but something that moves your body. Now, for most of you, you have these huge expectations of what you should do if you go exercise. I need to go an hour, I need to go to the gym, I need to hire a trainer, I need to do this, blah, 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 blah. It's going to cost me money, it's going to cost me time. And because of all of that, there's a lot of dread and burden. And guess what? Many of you just don't do it at all. So let me make it easy for you. What if you just told yourself, I just have to go for 10 minutes? And not only that, whatever it is, it's something that's easy for you to do. So for me, when I first started, it was easy for me to put on my shoes and go for a walk. So that's what I did. I would put on my shoes and I would go for a 10-minute walk, 5 minutes out and 5 minutes in. And I committed to doing that for myself 3 times a week. It was so easy. And of course, what my brain told me was it's not enough, nothing's going to happen, blah, 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 all of that. But you know what really happened from that? I started doing more. It was so easy. And once I was out, I just went ahead and did 20 minutes. Why not? And I was kind of enjoying myself. And not only that, every time I came back, I charted my emotions. And one of the things that I learned is that how I felt when I left and how I felt when I came back was very different. I always felt better. And every time I charted it, I gave my brain something new to think about. Because the way I used to handle my stress was the same as you. I used to eat, watch TV and eat bonbons, watch TV and eat potato chips. For me, it was potato chips, but for you, it may be bonbons or donuts. But whatever it was, I started just saying, just get out. All you got to do is 5 minutes out and 5 minutes in. And that's what I started doing. I call it the minimums. And minimums lead to maximums every single time. With every client that I have that uses this, they end up becoming a person that moves their body on a regular basis. Now, here's the biggest thing about the minimums is that I want you to show yourself that when you make a commitment to yourself, you honor it, even 10 minutes. Because many of you do not have confidence in yourself that you're going to do what you say you're going to do because you don't do it. And the reason you don't do it, I believe, is because you set your expectations too high. So I'm telling you, if they're too high and you're not doing them, what good are your high expectations? Lower them. Give yourself a minimum and tell yourself if you want, you can go longer. But at least you're going to do 10 minutes and you're going to do it 3 times a week. And we're going to put it on the calendar and we're going to honor it. And then guess what? You become a woman who honors her own commitments to herself. And every time you do that, you end up building self-confidence in yourself because you're a woman who does what she says she's going to do. So this is what I want to offer you this week. Number 1, go get my companion workbook and open it up to exercise minimums. And I think it's like the 4th chapter. But the beauty of it is that there's a little worksheet in there, a tool that I use with my clients, where you write down what you do and when you did it because you want to stick to your plan. But you also put down there how you feel emotionally when you start from a -10 to a 0. -10 is the worst, 0 is neutral. And how you feel when you come back. -10 is the worst to 0. 99% of the time, anybody that fills out that chart always has a higher emotion when they're done. And who doesn't want to feel better, right? So I'm telling you, this is very, very simple and very, very easy. And you will feel so good about yourself when you're done because you're a woman who honors her own commitments. So I want you to go do that, start your minimums, and I'd love to hear about it, okay? You can just write me at Dr. Deb at drdebbutler.com and tell me how the minimums are working for you. And of course, as I get ready to end this podcast, I always have something to add. And what I would like to add to that for you today is what I add every single week. What do you think I want for you? I want you to be very, very kind to yourself. See you next week. Bye-bye.
To get a free copy of Dr. Deb's companion workbook with all the tools, homeworks, and discussions that she uses in her podcast with all of her private clients, please go to drdebbutler.com/change. This will make it even easier to follow along with her in future broadcasts.